God will put you through these 7 trials before using you powerfully. Before God entrusts you with great power, influence, or responsibility, He first shapes the vessel. And shaping is never painless. It is in the quiet corridors of your struggles, the hidden valleys of your doubts, and the lonely nights of your soul that He forges you into someone who can carry the weight of His purpose. You may think you are ready now. You may even feel impatient, asking Him why the breakthrough hasn't come yet. But God knows that raw power without refined character is dangerous, both to you and to others. So instead of handing you the keys immediately, He will lead you through a series of trials, not to destroy you, but to strip away everything in you that could sabotage the destiny He has prepared. These trials are not random. They are deliberate, precise, and deeply personal. They are designed for one reason: to prepare you for a level of influence that demands unshakable integrity and unbreakable faith. If you are watching this right now, I need you to lean in, because what you are going through may not be a punishment at all. It may be the very evidence that God is about to use you in ways you cannot yet imagine. And before we go any further, if you want to grow in your walk with God and understand the deeper things of His plan for your life, make sure you stay with me to the very end of this message. And if you haven't yet, subscribe and join this community. We are building a place for chosen people like you to be strengthened and prepared for their calling. The first trial is often one you never expect: the season of isolation. This is when God pulls you away from the familiar people, places, even opportunities you once thought were essential. Suddenly, the friendships you relied on fade. The platforms you once stood on disappear. Doors you thought would always be open close without warning. And you feel it, like you've been forgotten. But the truth is, you've been hidden. God hides His most precious vessels while He works on them, just like a blacksmith keeps his finest blades away from the public eye until they're sharpened and ready. God tucks you away so the noise of the world can no longer distract you from the refining process. And in that hiddenness, He teaches you to depend on Him alone. This is where you learn that your value is not in your visibility, but in your connection to Him. Many people run from this season because it feels like rejection. But if you fight to get back into the crowd before the work is done, you will carry into your future the same weaknesses that could destroy you. So if you are in isolation right now, don't despise it. It is a sacred workshop where the Spirit of God is crafting you into a vessel of honor. The second trial is the breaking of your pride. We all have it, sometimes hidden under humility, sometimes disguised as self-confidence. Pride says, I can do it my way. I can rely on my own strength. But God knows that self-reliance is the greatest enemy to spiritual power. And so, He allows situations that humble you to the core. You might lose something you thought you could never live without. You might fail in an area you always excelled in, or you might find yourself face to face with your own limitations. These moments are painful, but they are the cracks through which God's grace pours in. Until you are emptied of yourself, you cannot be filled with Him. The truly powerful servants of God are those who know that without Him, they are nothing. This trial strips away the illusion of control, leaving only the truth that all power, all success, and all ability come from Him alone. And here is the mystery. When you reach that point of surrender, you will discover a strength that isn't yours. You will speak words you didn't know you could speak. You will stand in storms that should have broken you. And you will realize, in that moment, that you are no longer moving in your power, but in His. If this is resonating with you, I want you to stay with me, because what comes next is even deeper, even more personal. And if you feel like your life is falling apart, you may actually be right in the middle of God's preparation process. The third trial is the silence of God. This is perhaps the most unsettling stage of all. You pray, but heaven feels quiet. You search for signs, but the answers you long for do not come. You open the Word and feel as though nothing leaps from the page. It's not that God has abandoned you. No, He is closer than ever, but He has shifted the way He speaks. He is no longer spoon-feeding you comfort. Instead, He is drawing you into a deeper trust. One that believes without seeing. One that walks, even when the path ahead is hidden in mist. In the silence, you are confronted with your own impatience, your fears, and your desire for constant reassurance. And here is the paradox. God's silence is not His absence. It is an invitation to mature faith. Babies need constant noise and affirmation. Warriors can move at their commander's last word until a new order is given. And God is training you to be a warrior, not a dependent child. This is the season where you learn to move not by feelings, but by conviction. You keep obeying what you last heard Him say. You stay faithful to your assignments even when the reward is invisible, and when the silence finally breaks. And it will. You will hear His voice with a clarity you never had before. The fourth trial is the stripping away of comfort. God will not use you greatly if you are addicted to comfort, because His call will demand sacrifice, inconvenience, and risk. So, He will disrupt the life you thought was safe. The job that gave you stability may be shaken. The lifestyle you've grown accustomed to might no longer be sustainable. Sometimes He even rearranges your physical surroundings to push you into a place where you have no choice but to adapt. And why? Because comfort breeds complacency, and complacency is the death of destiny. He needs you to become comfortable with discomfort, to know how to move forward even when nothing feels easy or predictable. This is how He toughens your spirit. How? He teaches you that security is not found in possessions, titles, or even people. It's found in Him alone. Many stop here. They cling to comfort more than calling, but those who press on discover a strange, unshakable peace in the middle of uncertainty. They learn that the absence of comfort is not the absence of God. It's often the proof that He is leading them somewhere new. And maybe, as you listen right now, you are feeling exactly that. Maybe your routines have been disrupted, your safety nets have been removed, and you are wondering if you took a wrong turn. But friend, what if this is exactly where God wants you? What if this shaking is not the end of your journey, but the start of your real mission? So don't run back to what's safe just yet. Stay the course. If you're receiving something deep from this message so far, let me know in the comments and share this video so it can encourage someone else who's in their own trial. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now is the perfect moment. Because in the next few minutes, we're going to uncover the trials that come right before God launches you into your purpose. The fifth trial is the test of faith under pressure. This is where everything you've learned about God is tested in real life. It's one thing to say you believe when the sun is shining. It's another to trust Him when the storm is raging and the water is rising. In this trial, circumstances will directly challenge what you claim to believe. You may find yourself with a promise in your heart but no visible proof in your hands. You may have to choose between taking matters into your own control or waiting on God to move. And that waiting will feel unbearable at times. But this is exactly where your faith is refined, where trust becomes unshakable, because it's no longer based on what you see, but on who you know Him to be. Faith under pressure produces spiritual authority. It gives your words weight when you speak to others, because you're no longer sharing theory, you're sharing testimony. And when you've seen God come through in impossible situations, no one can take that truth away from you. The sixth trial is the betrayal of trust. If God is going to use you to impact lives, He must first teach you how to love, lead, and serve, even when people hurt you. And one of the deepest wounds you will ever feel is betrayal. especially from someone you never thought could wound you. It might be a friend, a family member, a colleague, or even someone you've helped the most. Their words may cut deeper than a knife. Their actions may shake your view of loyalty. And yet, this trial has a strange beauty. Because in betrayal, you learn that your trust must ultimately rest in God, not in man. You discover that your mission cannot be built on the approval or the faithfulness of others, only on the unwavering faithfulness of God Himself. This trial also purges your heart from bitterness. You will be tempted to close yourself off, to withdraw, to promise yourself that you'll never trust again. But if you yield to that temptation, you will carry a hardened heart into your calling, and a hardened heart cannot fully carry the love of God. So instead, you forgive. You let go. You keep moving. Betrayal will either break you or make you stronger. It will either push you away from people or teach you how to love them without being enslaved to their loyalty. Those who pass this trial walk into their calling with a deeper grace, a higher wisdom, and a heart that cannot be easily offended. And then comes the seventh and final trial, the surrender of your will. This is where every other trial has been leading. You can endure isolation, loss of comfort, silence, testing of faith, and even betrayal. But the ultimate question is this: will you lay down your will for His? Will you trust Him enough to let go of the life you imagined so you can step into the one He designed? This trial is not about losing. It's about yielding. It's about finally realizing that your life is safest, fullest, and most powerful when it is not in your hands anymore. Here, you stop bargaining with God. You stop saying, "I'll obey if," and you start saying, "I'll obey even if." You begin to walk not by personal ambition, but by divine assignment. And when you reach this point, something shifts. You feel lighter, freer, and more aligned. You see how every pain, every loss, every silence, every shaking was not to destroy you, but to strip away the false so the true could emerge. You understand that God was never trying to withhold anything from you. He was trying to prepare you for everything He had planned. It's here that He releases you into your calling, not because you've become perfect, but because you've become yielded. You are no longer carrying the weight of your purpose on your own shoulders. You are carrying it in partnership with Him. And that is when your life becomes a channel of His power. So if you are in the middle of these trials right now, don't despise them. Don't run from them. You may feel unseen, but you are being hidden for greatness. You may feel shaken, but you are being strengthened. You may feel emptied, but you are being filled. If this message has been speaking to your heart, I want you to take a moment, pause, and let me know in the comments which of these trials you feel you are facing right now. Your testimony might encourage someone else who's silently walking through the same valley. And if you want more messages like this, make sure you subscribe, because there is so much more I want to share with you about walking in God's calling for your life. Before we end, remember, trials are not the proof that God has abandoned you. They are the proof that He is preparing you. And if you endure, if you keep trusting, keep obeying, keep surrendering, you will not only see the breakthrough, you will become the breakthrough for someone else.